Shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles. Double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen that look like the heathen, the Israelite foreigners, and to the few Akwaf that are listening and learning. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson. And a couple things that, the new hot thing, I've yet to do a video on it. So many brothers have. I just kind of reposted most of the brothers' videos, including the apostles and elders that went in on the madness, which is with the bishop Nathaniel, who's and some of the things they're saying. Hey, look, I've been saying it for quite some time. That dude's a sellout and a bug out. All right, he didn't been took. It is beyond obvious. It was beyond obvious 3-4 years ago, and now the evidence is just piling up. It's not looking good for him and nor his followers. All right, but the current events is Ezekiel 38 is clearly indefinitely now. All right, I just read about the brother Kazak Yahweh that sent me an article, and in that article it mentioned how 19 volcanoes were erupting around the world at the same time. Come on, man. All right. Matter of fact, let me grab Isaiah 29 and 2, Isaiah 28 and 6 as well, I believe. This is Isaiah 29 and 6, and it says, "Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and with great noise and with storm and tempest and flame of devouring fire." All right. Never in the history of mankind has, volcanoes erupted, together. All right. As the armies of the world are, going into the valley of Jehoshaphat, being drawn out by those who are being exposed. Esau Edom is being exposed. Right. This is Isaiah 28 and 2, and it reads, "Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which is a tempest of hail and destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters overflowing shall cast down to the earth with the land." So you've had all kinds of crazy weather patterns. Floods, earthquakes in diverse places. All right. And people who don't even believe in religion believe that this is the end of the world. All right. Because you got a lot of people that, they're just lost. They believe that there is a God. They just don't, have a clue as to, what he's really about. They just don't believe in religion. And you know what? And the way religions have been, shown and proven to be the frauds, well, can you really blame them? All right? Can you really blame them? But I'm going to play this clip from TikTok. And let me pull it up.
Over the past couple days, I have seen...
Hold on. You turn on TikTok, it just started playing, man. All right. And you can see the title of the video that's on the screen. It says, "Latin America rises up against Israel's genocide, cutting ties, recalling ambassadors." That's never happened before. And I'm going to read that Jeremiah, but they truly are despised among the citizens of the world. All right, which is why they move into, to strike everyone down and silence everyone. And, and sling the anti-sim, card, like a Uno game. Anti-sim reverse, anti-sim draw 4, anti-sim draw 2. They just, wow. But I want to play this clip from these Christians, because there's another thing. It's just so many things happening at once, So I guess this is just going to be various topics. It's so many things happening at once. It's hard to eat, to even keep up. And I tried to single it out to this evening from all this different information that I came across today. But yeah, it's gonna end up being various target topics. But and this one has been seen 75,700 times. This particular video. So I'm about to play it, and it says the evil is moving on the earth. But here we go.
I can't come up with a better explanation for the proliferation of evil in the past several years, other than Lucifer has been turned loose from the abyss.
Lack of understanding.
And I'm wrestling, deeply wrestling with the evil nature of man.
That's who Lucifer's really talking about. His people,
and Doc,
the Edomites.
I'm waking up at all hours through the night. I'm troubled. My soul is troubled.
The water Yahweh Bashem Abishai. I pray that if what he just said, I pray that against Edomites, that they be troubled, that they have bad sleep, that their families break up, that that they lose their health, their wealth, their hope. All right, the water Yahweh Bashem Abishai. All right, that is happening.
Something very evil is moving about on the earth. Something very evil. There is a wicked evil force that's gathering strength on the earth. And I'm wondering, what's it going to be like a year from now? 2 years from now? Do you think a year ago we would be talking about Jews shooting babies through hospital windows? What are we going to talk about next year? Where do the Jews go from here? What's the next level of depravity?
Oh, wow. So I'm not going to play too much of that. You saw it. You can go and find it. It's on TikTok. I imagine it's probably on a couple other platforms as well. But yeah, JOO shooting children through hospital windows, yet screaming that they're the victims. Let's go to the scriptures. Let's go to Jeremiah, and one of my favorites, 49 and 20. And it reads, actually I'm going to start at verse 10. And it reads, but I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. All right? Leave thy fatherless children, I will preserve them alive, and let thy widows trust in me. So, his women is turning against him, everything. Right? But thus saith Yahweh, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink the cup have surely drunken, and art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. Because see, we drink that cup, and we're still drinking it now. It's not over for us yet. We're still subject to payments. We're still stuck in Babylon. You just can't leave. The amount of Jake that actually has passports, and and then they can always just stop and revoke your passport. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even need a passport if you were really free. You should just be able to get up and go visit a place and come back home. All right? And because you're not free, we're being oppressed. And that's the best kind of slave, the type of slave that doesn't even know that they're a slave. But unfortunately for Esau Edom, people are waking up to this fact. All right? Verse 12, it says, for thus saith the Lord, behold, for thus saith Yahweh, behold, those whose judgment was not to drink of the cup are surely drunk of it. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it. For I have sworn by myself, saith Yahweh, Basra shall be a desolation, a reproach, and a waste, and a curse, and all the cities thereof shall be a perpetual waste. All right, so every stronghold where Esau Edom is in the world, that's Basra. The Lord is going to make a visitation to Basra. And I'm going to jump down to verse 15. For lo, I will make thee small amongst the heathen and despised among men. The Edomites are greatly despised right now. Okay, that's why they have their little meetings and their little sayings and their signs, like it's okay to be white. Well, there's no such thing as white people. That's something that they made up, just like they made up the Middle East. The so-called Middle East sits in Southwest Asia or Western Asia. All right, Turkey sits in Northwest Asia. All right, the Middle East is something that they made up to control the narrative of these fraudulent race theories that they created and labels that they created. Okay, but let's play a little bit of this video and just see how people are despising them and turning loose, and separating themselves from Esau Edom.
To what's happening in Latin America, and I'll note after our next guest, we will be hearing from Dr. Mohammed Abu Salmiya, who's the director of Al-Shifa Hospital. So stick with us here. We will be hearing from the Director General of Al-Shifa Hospital in Gaza City. But next, we want to go to another area where a lot has been happening geopolitically on this issue, Latin America, as I mentioned. Zoe Alexandra, journalist and co-editor of People's Dispatch, is back with us. Zoe, as always, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Well, it's an honor to have you here, as it always is. And, we're seeing actually a fair amount in Latin America from my perspective, countries breaking ties, we're calling ambassadors, big protests. Give us a capsule view, if you could, of what we're seeing in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Latin America may be geographically far from the region, but there is a huge impact in what's been happening. As you mentioned, there have been mass protests on the streets this past weekend on the International Day of Action and Solidarity called for by the International People's Assembly. We saw mass mobilizations in Sao Paulo, Brazil, in dozens of other cities across Brazil, in Bogota, Colombia, in Mexico City, many other cities across the region. But also, as we've spoken about many times on this show, Latin America is currently in a moment where we have a record number of progressive governments in the region. As we know, progressive does not necessarily mean progressive or, good on Palestine, as I think a lot of the U.S. so-called progressives have proven to us. However, it is one of the regions that has had the most perhaps dynamic response to what has been happening in terms of cutting ties. We saw Bolivia in the end of October announced that they were cutting ties once again with Israel. These ties had been resumed under Jeanine Áñez when she took over in the coup. Previously, Evo had cut ties with Israel. Countries like Colombia, Chile, and Honduras have recalled their diplomatic personnel from Israel. Again, this isn't taking the step of fully cutting ties, but it is a clear sign. And leaders like Gustavo Petro, he's been probably one of the most outspoken leaders in the entire world in terms of what has been happening, posting day after day, condemning the genocide, condemning the killing of kids, condemning the position also of Israel to attack anyone who's condemning what's happening and calling it anti-Semitism. He himself has faced very, very, very difficult diplomatic blowback from the U.S., its allies, and Israel over his position in support of the Palestinian cause. Of course, we know Gustavo Petro's support of Palestine did not start now in October. He's historically understood the importance of a free Palestine and the struggle against Zionism and imperialism. But again, a really crucial voice at this point. He's no longer just a left leader or a mayor. He's actually a president and one of the most respected voices on the world stage when it comes to issues of human rights, of the environment, and many other things. So
it's very, for this man, like you said, he's very well known for speaking up for human rights, on the world stage. And, and for this guy to be saying what he's saying, it's getting a lot of attention. And they don't like it. So don't be surprised, if that guy on the screen, ends up sick or have a heart attack or he gets unalived somehow. You know, don't be shocked if that happens, because you come too hard against, you know. But the flip side of that is that Esau Edom is losing his power, and then, you know, council culture is another way that they attack your finances and your money and your well-being. And I've heard them in different videos say that that's what they need to do to anyone who doesn't agree with them. You don't even have to say anything bad. You can just disagree with them, you know. And there it is. This is Jeremiah 49:20. And it reads, "Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes, that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. He shall make their habitations desolate with them." So they're the least of the flock. They're greatly despised, and what they're doing is they're drawing out the men of war. The whole world is getting ready is going toward this the final judgment, which is the third woe. You know, the first and second woe passed, World War I, World War II, and now the third woe is upon us. All right, and the destroyer of the Gentiles is coming to destroy the Gentiles, and they will not raise up again after 1,000 years either. That madness, man, that's unbelievable that somebody would fix their lips to say something so, this it's on the land, it's on the line of crazy or complete retardation to fix your lips to form a sentence to say something that ludicrous, all right, that ridiculous, and said it boldly and proudly. And then what's even more so, you got, zombies, there's no better word, that believe and praise it. It's insane. But let me go back and get this next video off TikTok, and we'll correct the lies,
I can't come up.
but we'll also what the hell? There we go. Because when Esau tells you the truth, he also gives you lies. And all right, here this Edomite says he's so glad that they start recording old history. Well, I'll just let him say it. All right.
I'm so glad that we started recording and filming historical events before we realized that people were going to forget or lie about it. Phony history lessons and just a bunch of talking heads and hearsay. Let's look at some actual...
That's everything about American history, which is taught in the schools. It's all false. All the stories are fabricated, all right? And they're all geared toward Edomite superiority, all right? Everything. From the old, because at this point, anyone who believes they're celebrating 9/11 every year, all right, and the evidence there's more than enough evidence, just focus on Building 7. These people are liars. Everything about them is a lie, okay, as you're going to see.
History.
Amid the fabled hills of Judea in Southwest Asia.
Wait, whoa, hold on. Let's take that back. Among the hills of, matter of fact, we ain't got to take it back. We can bring it on the camera. Amid the fables of Judea, all right, and Southwest Asia stands Jerusalem. What did I tell you? Bring out my map of Asia. All the colored part is Asia, right? So you got Africa and Europe, and right next to the east of Cairo, to the east of Egypt, is Southwest Asia, not the Middle East. That's a term that they created so that they could control the narrative. They got a whole they got an acronym or something, that they've created. Okay. Turkey is south, South West Asia as well. Okay. Or you could call it Northwest Asia if you wanted to. The further you go in the east, the further into Asia you go. So you get Russia, Mongolia, et cetera, et cetera. All right, just to show you how much of a liar these people are. And then, well, we'll keep going. There's one more thing I want to touch on.
Jerusalem, the capital of Palestine, sacred to three of the world's great religions. To Mohammedans, who ruled Palestine for nearly 13 centuries and still regard it as their own, Jerusalem is almost as sacred as Mecca. To hundreds of millions of Christians, this is the Holy Land. Here, Jesus of Nazareth trod the slow, agonizing road to Calvary and the cross.
In Acts 13:1, it tells you that the disciples and the Christians were called nigger, Niger, all right?
Here, a great Christian shrine has been erected on the spot, believed
first in Antioch.
Began the life he was to sacrifice for all mankind.
So he was to sacrifice for all mankind. So, but they're not showing you people according to the Bible. They're showing you people that were there at the time.
One of the oldest traditions in Palestine's history, stretching back beyond recorded time, is that of the Hebrews, symbolized by the Wailing Wall, place of lamentation and prayer since the days of Herod the Great.
There it is. That's what Herod the Great. All right. That's what I wanted to get to that part. All right. The Wailing Wall is not scriptural. It's not in the Bible. It's not even in the Talmud. That's something that they made up, just like they made up the term Middle East. The Wailing Wall, if you do your research, okay, the Wailing Wall was Fort Antonia. It was a Roman a Roman unit. Was there, I think, the 10th Legion, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but it was called Fort Antonia. All right, and it was, I believe, it was named after Mark Antony, if I'm not mistaken. All right, so that's what the Wailing Wall is. It was Fort Antonia. It had nothing. The Bible clearly told you that there wouldn't be one stone left of Solomon's temple. The temple was completely razed to the ground. So these people are liars. And then he said Herod the Great. All right. Herod is an Edomite. So what they did was admit that Jewish people are the Edomites, the people who took the place of the Jews. All right. All right. When after John Hyrcanus forced the Edomites to observe the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. And then you had these Edomites were the first, that's when they became what the world refers to today as Jewish. And the people over there now cleaved on to that convert, and they, that conversion that was done way back then. And that's what they're doing. And guess what? Herod was the same bloodline people as the people who are Jewish today. So, were they really showing you history? No, they weren't. All right. They were trying to continue to whitewash and lie about history. But that was a very powerful piece, and I'm probably going to use it again. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakak Kodash, Wa Abba, Kwam, Yasharala, Shalom.